Yo, what's good, everybody? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. I am definitely excited for this one, guys. It is the first and the most finals coming out from the LITE Champion Series, LITE Gaming Champion Series. It is the LITE Duo Winter Cup, guys. The finals, 9,000 Rand on board, and we're going to look at that prize pool in just a bit. But welcome, everybody. Hope you guys are all doing good. Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Shout out to all of the South Africans that were rallying behind the FNCS trio from South Africa to make it all the way into heats. It is a GG's across the board from the Fortnite South African scene, and I hope all of you guys had a massive one this weekend. But the focus and the attention is here today, guys, for the LITE Winter Duo Cup. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what goes down, who will be grabbing first place, who will be grabbing second and third. But I can tell you, it's not going to be easy, as these lineups and these match fixes that we have for you guys today are going to be very much intense. The first 5 games that we have on board, guys, is going to be going through the aspects. So first game starting at 3:10. So don't worry, the action's coming, just wait a bit. The second game at 4:45, then 4:20, then 5:05, then 5:30. So those 5 games will be giving you an interest or a sort of opportunity to grab yourself a prize pool of 9,000 Rand, guys. First place grabbing 5,000 Rand over there, second 2.8, and third 1,200 Rand. Now, the top 3, guys, is definitely going to be juicy. You guys want to try and sweat your level best to get into this opportunity. The games here, guys, are going to be very much interesting to see exactly what goes down and what the case is like over there. But I can tell you, it's going to be interesting. It definitely is. Those 5 games is going to be a change of tables, turntables. I mean, today, guys, I'm a bit mind-boggled, but that's just my excitement boiling up. I'm really excited to see exactly what will be going down for you guys throughout the afternoon. And while we're here, guys, chatting to you, I would like to thank the sponsors behind us, Zaraya, LITE Gaming, Exitlag, because 9,000 Rand and a bit of giveaways for you guys in the stream is going to be extra juicy. Talking about the giveaways in the stream, there are 5 Exitlag codes that will be giving out to 5 different winners that are worth 30 days. So if you guys are here throughout the entire stream, you guys are earning points, you guys can purchase as much tickets. I believe you can purchase as much tickets as you want. The more tickets you have, the more opportunity you can get into the thing. As well as, guys, tag a friend on social media. Let them, and as well as tag LITE Gaming. Let them know that you've brought in new audience. That way, you have a higher chance of winning the 180-day Exitlag code over there. So that's going to be interesting. I mean, 180 days with Exitlag, at least you never need to worry about Middle East breaking over there. So yeah, 5 times 30-day giveaways happening. All you have to do is !mark raffle, and then the 180-day Exitlag code will be giving also at the end of the stream. But go over to social media, tag friends, tag LITE Gaming, let them know that you bringing in people into the live stream over here, because we want to see as much excited people in the audience over there, just as much as I am for this one over here. Some of the names, guys, that we have today that are definitely going to be worth watching is no other than your top players, Neymar and Woke, you know, debuting today in the LITE Gaming Duo Winter Cup. It's going to be interesting to see how they play this one out. They didn't have the best of semi-finals, but they definitely brought it back with those 2 victory royales in the end, game 4 and game number 5. I mean, who gets so dramatic and turns things around like that? Like, honestly, Neymar is no joke. He's a dramatic person. I mean, I messaged him after that semi-finals. I'm like, why you gotta be so dramatic? Making such a massive comeback. But that's just semi-finals, guys. That means nothing. I mean, if he's able to do that yet again and show that consistency in the finals today, then that's where things are going to be turning out, and that's where things are going to be very much interesting. The other names that we have for you guys is obviously going to be, again, a new debut, which is going to be Travis and Rejects coming out from Goliath Gaming. Now, this duo going to be dominating, I believe, all the way from Catty Corner. They were very much consistent throughout their qualifiers as well as semifinals. But again, none of that means anything because they haven't won anything just yet. They've just got confident boosters in those qualifiers and semifinals going into today, the finals, the 9,000 Rand prize pool. So I mean, if you're not winning any of that and not doing the same thing today, then that's just the GG's in the books. You pat yourself on the back and you take the next tournament by the horns. But I believe, guys, game has started, so let's go over and watch the players jump out the butter bus. And you know what? I believe we go on to the birthday boy, Ricey. Give him a beautiful watch, and let's jump on board, guys, with game number 1 over here, and we're going to see exactly what the aspects are going to be looking like. So game hasn't started. Players are still queuing up. I believe anytime now we'll get that action coming across the board. But I see a lot of you guys are entering into the giveaways, are sharing the streams. There, it's going to be really juicy. So you want to try your level best to win those prize pools. And those giveaways, let's just talk about that prize pool again, guys. And a huge thanks to Zorea, LITE Gaming, Exitlag, and as well as Elite Proceeds for collabing with LITE Gaming over here, because it's going to be very much interesting to see who will be walking away with that 5,000 Rand. I mean, that's 2,500 for yourself and your duo. So it is a decent amount of money. Good pocket change, if you could call it, for some people, because 2,500 Rand, it's not a Big Mac meal. It's, I don't know, how much Big Mac meals can you actually get with 2,500 Rand? It's definitely a good upgrade in peripherals if you're looking to get a keyboard or mouse or whatever the case may be. Got confirmation now that the games have officially started. So yeah, let's get straight into this one and see exactly what the plays are all about. It's going to be interesting. We got 94 players going into game number 1. And on the birthday boy, Ricey, guys, I want to see you guys say happy birthday in the chat right over there. Scream happy birthday in the chat and type that out, and let's see exactly what will be going into play. But E-Tech and Ricey, very much a goated duo, and they contest Clubberama and Psycho quite often in terms of those rotations. Clubs and Psycho always making those early rotations out of dirty docks, but it's not going to be easy going against Rice and E-Tech, because in the qualifiers, I think the first 3 games, they were giving Psycho and Clubs quite the hectic gameplay that they got over there. But You know what? It's Psycho and Glubs. They can hold their weight, and those are the other duos, guys, that we need to still talk about in the atmosphere right now. And they've shown some consistency throughout the board. They've done extremely well, and we will be seeing them yet again in the tournament over here. So let's actually open that up, and we can see what that's going to be looking like over there. So yeah, Clubs Psycho. What do you guys have to say about this duo? Do you guys think they have the potential to win it? You can see they're marking Ricey and E-Tech in that situation. But do you guys really think the Clubs and Psycho can win the LITE Gaming Duo Winter Cup? Because I want to see how many people favor, you know, this massive duo over here. How many people do we have in the stream that's ready for the gameplay right now, guys? Let's see all hands shown right now for Clubs and Psycho as they land at Dirty Docks, a newfound home for the past couple of tournaments, as well as in trios. They always land here, and it's good to see that consistency come out from them, and they've been able to do miraculous things and perform extremely well. So already some of these players are dropping like flies over here, guys, and we can see exactly what that's looking like across the board. But let's just organize some of these plays right over here, and let's get them into a good aspect where you can see all of the live streams. And then yeah, there we go. Now that's looking really good. But let's go over now, guys, over to Travis and Rejects as they do land at the atmosphere over here. So guys, give me 1 second. Actually, I've got to do something. And we are back. But yeah, let's go over now to Travis and them to see exactly what it's looking like over there. And we got a Reject and Travis, and a newfound duo, you know, landing outside the skirts of Catty Corner, and they got a bounty hunt already here. But I don't think they're gonna be doing any of that too soon, because, you know, it's more passive plays. Game number 1, game number 2. Game number 3 is where we see really all the juices sort of load up for the plays over there. And it does kind of feel like it's laggy, so I'm gonna stop watching and rewatch that over there. So definitely getting some audio delay coming out from Rejects and Travis, and for the most part it is quite annoying. But yeah, Travis and Rejects, really formidable trio. Some that you may never want to mess with. But Neymar and, well, the other duo that we did mention quite early in the stream, guys, here today, you know, with a dramatic comeback in their semifinals to win the game number 4 and 5 to bring them in, I think, was first place position. I mean, they didn't have the best of performances, but they were able to say, listen guys, we were just warming up. And they did exactly that, because their last 2 games were so crazy. And yeah, so Bravado Beach, a really broken place when it comes down to currency of gold. They're able to acquire as much as they can, and I think he's on 456 gold himself right now. So he's able to obviously upgrade his pump into a purple spaz, and that's what's going to be really juicy going into the end games with those 1 pump aspects. But now we can go and see the other duos such as Piv and Smiley. Let's see what's happening, what's it like over there. And just like that, we come on board. It does look like Moabs is able to find a duo right now and master Smiley, he's just trying to get out of the situation. He's able to get into a car and try disengage as much as possible, but they're gonna get focused quite heavily. He now needs to try disengage as much as he can. He's now down to also 150 HP. It does look like he will be getting out of this situation, so that's gonna be really good. Maybe going to go in for a full 360 to try get the reboot card of Piv. No, I actually don't think that's going to come into play, but right now he's in a good position to get himself back onto good HP right over there. Let's go and see Sobzy and Buzzy, who are also in this tournament over here. 87 players remain. It does look like Buzzy finds somebody there, and he decides to disengage completely out of the situation, and I'll show you guys that right now. So there we go. There's Buzzy's POV, and just like that, he inflatables out of there, and it does look like he loads up as a solo. So obviously trying to play for the most part passive, and the game number one doesn't look like it's going to go in favor of Sobzy and Buzzy right now. We can only hope to see them come through in the next sort of a game with some proper gameplay over there on their end. Guys, Luka Rakic and Dekov, let's see what's happening over there. How are these players performing? It does look like they're already getting in some action over here, and that's a close quarter combat box fight situation that we're finding ourselves in. And a good beam with 99 coming in from Luka Rakic. He's going to try get a good AR onto the player, but unfortunately going to miss that. Now, Dekov also getting into another position, moving left, right, and this is going to corner the oppositions into a little box, and maybe that's where they will deal the miraculous damage. But for the most part, they do have the upper hand, playing it very slow. They don't want to make that decision to double key into the boxes just yet. But look at that mat count. At this point, realistically, they need that refresh. They need to get those eliminations right now. Third parties getting involved as well, and depending on their location, it could potentially be Rejects and Travis taking the fight over here. But very, very passive gameplay that we are seeing from some of the W key warriors that we have in the tournament. Luka and Dekov in this finals over here, just trying to make those rotations, and for the most part, I mean, maybe it was a play for surge tags. They definitely did get a bit of that, but honestly, now going into the end games, the second zone rotation, it doesn't look like that was the play to disengage. If I was Dekov and Rakic right now, I'd be doing the most part I can, trying to get those eliminations, because it would help so much. But those third parties getting involved as well doesn't look too good on Luka Rakic HP, as now they're going to get double keyed from the back, and you know, this is a tough situation they are finding themselves in. So let's see exactly what they can do right now. Gonna try and let those players not rotate in peace as he sort of focus their truck pinpoint. And ooh, talk about a haircut coming in from that snipe, just meters or inches away from absolutely destroying Luka Rakic right now. That would have put an upset for the players that we have spectating over here. Luka Rakic rotating in the storms. They do manage to finally get in here, and talk about a stacked first zone rotation that we are witnessing right now. I mean, 87 players, only 7 players have been eliminated across the board. 1 player by knowns now haven't got into the game. So really, this is beautiful. This is what we love to see, guys. Let's see whether or not the games can remain this stacked with the game 3 and 4 and 5 to come right now. But as they heal up, let's go find another player to watch, and that's going to be the Uprising Stars, Temperat and Zorro, who have done extremely well with a solo or trio. They've been performing across the board, and they've done, you know, some pretty interesting gameplay. So we're going to have them over here with the Temperat and Zorro rotation. I've only seen them utilize the Ferrari rotation like this very often. It's not every day that we do see it from him. And there's Temperat and Zorro quickly into the center of the next zone right now. I do believe at this stage, guys, we could potentially be looking at the Storm Surge for second zone, because 15 players need to get eliminated, and for the most part, those that haven't dealt any damage are going to be in serious trouble, and we're going to have to wait and see exactly what that's going to be looking like. But Temperat and Zara, you love to see a parasite on Tem. If you know Temperat and his movement and his endgame clutches and so forth, that parasite honestly does a good deed on him. So we're gonna be looking at that going into the endgame, and you can see Zorro, for the most part, he doesn't have a parasite on his head. So those endgame mobilities, if he's rotating in the open, trying to make those dead side rotations, it's gonna be very tough. There's that Storm Surge warning that I was talking to you guys about quite earlier, and they're obviously going to need to deal some damage across the board right now, because 26 damage below. They are seeing some players in the open, and Temperat very much aggressive. He's gonna line up that SMG, but wide in the open, not looking left or right. He doesn't care who's around. He is unstoppable, invincible at this stage, as a couple snipe shots go left and right, but nothing too serious, and still haven't dealt any damage. I say we stay on board with Temperat and Zoro to see how their strategy works out, and there's a good 30 damage for them, but it's not going to be enough, because still 7 damage below and still 14 players to be eliminated. Once that Storm Surge is going to activate, that damage threshold is going to peak higher and higher. Not utilizing a lot of mats over here, just trying to play for the drop, and they do so indeed. But now trying to get a spray in, and maybe they're able to deal some tags over here, which by all means would be really good. 33 damage now, and now we are seeing some increments on their damage threshold, which will definitely help them a lot. But being damage dealt back means is that the players below are working on it. Zoro now going in with the aggressive gameplay, and I don't think this is the decision, but it does look like they're committing, and they do manage to get a head dink. Zoro is still going full on. He doesn't care what's happening left, right, and center, and you can see exactly that is the play right over there. Maybe they're able to deal realistic damage, and there goes the SMG spray from Temperat. Let's see exactly what the decision right is over here. As they get third party, they still full on ready to doubly keen this aspect over here, and as he pickaxes the wall, he's just, you know, letting the players around him know that, hey, I am around. There's that Storm Surge about to activate. With only 24 damage above, he's able to deal a good amount of damage with that SMG, and it does look like Temperat is going to be one of the few players to survive the threshold. As they get aggressive, he sneaks his way in with that pump. He manages to SMG spray and gets that knock, and it does look like he deals a significant amount of damage across the board. There's Zoro to get that clean up. Goliath Travis with an elimination or knock on his end. Let's see whether or not we can go jump on board with those players right now to see what that is looking like for them. But talk about a good strategy coming out of the players Temperat and Zoro, because they were extremely low on damage, and they just turned things around with a full-on double key, no hesitation whatsoever. On the other hand, it does look like Goliath, Travis, and Rejects had a good Storm Surge route, but a stacked game that we are looking at right now, with still 2 players above the threshold. We are seeing Palm Peace getting eliminated by the Storm Surge right over there, and Piano trying to do the most he can with a kill feed in there, killing an anonymous player. That Storm Surge is still active across the board, and you can see a good dead side rotation coming in from Rejects and Travis for game number 1. Parasite on Rejects over there, so on Travis over there. Does look like they're focusing on a couple of players right now. Storm Surge still active, guys, so this is going to be an interesting game, and a good pump over here. It's Steve Pomp, and he's going to get eliminated over there. That's going to just increase the resources as well as the damage threshold for Rejects and Travis. They're still on that dead side rotation, trying to stay alive in this position and trying to be very active. It does look like they're trying to make the play for switch off weapons, and they do so successfully. Rejects and Travis farming up on the outskirts and making a rotation in the quiet zone right now, which is a really good decision. You don't want to find yourselves in any fighting position in the end game on those rotations. I mean, some of these players may be extremely hungry for damage. On the other hand, hello, Neymar being eliminated, and Woke now needing to do the bits and pieces for his team. Let's see exactly what this is going to be looking like right now, how that next zone rotation is going to play out for him. Woke up on height. What an interesting name that we have here for Woke. Bravado Woke. Definitely a player you will find on height quite often, especially with the duo Neymar, who's very much smart. He knows how to steal height from the oppositions and how to just position himself in the zones and get those RNGs that, you know, aren't really noticeable from anyone else. But now Woke has a solo, now needs to rotate out in the open. Does look like for the most part of it, there's going to be quite a quiet rotation that we're going to witness from him. And there we go. Well, now Woke just a couple more meters in and he should be in a good position. He's still obviously on the very much dead side. And this is where you can tell like the elite from the other, because no mats utilized, no attention whatsoever to himself. And he's now going to ramp up above the oppositions over here. And he does so successfully. And he's got a good position where he could potentially be in the 50-50 zone. We'll come back to him. In fact, let's just stay on him right now to see what that damage threshold is looking like and how he can turn things around for himself. He's 7 damage above 39. It does look like players now are starting to drop like flies, as we have about 59 players remaining, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, it's 69? Wait, I don't really know how many players remain. Let's stop watching for the... and then we watch again. Yeah, I can't really tell how much players are alive right now. 57 players across the board over here. So he has his toes and fingers crossed that this is going to be enough, you know. Will he encounter that storm surge, or would it go by like the storm we had here in South Africa? Let's see exactly what is going to be happening here with Woke up on height. 10 seconds, definitely for the most part. He's going to be in a sticky situation. Has 4 players remain, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. A storm surge activates, and he does get the 50-50 zone. He now needs to make that rotation in. He just needs 1 tag, and he's going to be in a good position. There goes those tags. Oh, he gets headshot snipe. It's Goliath Travis with the headshot snipe over there. And just like that, it is a GG's across the board over there. Massive snipe means massive GG's from Travis. Let's go over to Glubs and Psycho as we witness what they are up to in the position. It is a long rotation for them as they use a first launch pad to get into the 50-50 zone. Goliath, Travis, and them. Glubs and Psycho really looking really good in this position. Mat count not that decent. Already utilized the entire brick. And I'm assuming that Glubs is the IGL. No, Psycho's the IGL. So there won't be any refurbishment coming in from Glubs, if that even makes sense across the board. But they load out not looking that amazing. A grey pump for the most part. The AR has 78 bullets. I mean, you know, it's not the best loot that you could possibly have. Does look like Luca does get an elimination in the kill feed over there. That's massive from them. 43 players remaining, and for those moving zones, we potentially could be looking at some storm surge. couple bullets left, right, and center, so the action is still very much alive. Nobody's really sitting ducks in their own boxes because they can't let time go by where they need to sit and wait for that storm surge. So they know they're going to need some damage dealt across the board. The moment now is, will they be able to do so? And oh my god, Temperat with a fire of a beam coming in from Globorama right here. And Gloves are now obviously trying to get his elimination, and they're gonna do so successfully. It does look like they can. Honestly, you want those eliminations, but it doesn't look like for the most part Temperat is gonna get eliminated across the board. Let's actually go over to Temperat to see what is the scenes like. Is there any pressure going into the team over there? Let's jump on board with them to see exactly what's the play. Does look like they managed to revive Temperat, so for the most part Gloves and Psycho aren't gonna pick up another elimination to their name. In fact, Temperat and them are looking very much good. Their damage across the board is as well very decent. Let's go jump back on board with Gloves and Psycho to see how their threshold is looking. Are they in any tough position whatsoever? Does look like they are 6 damage below. Their mat count is now very much wiped out as he's down to only 21 builds. 30 damage above. Psycho healing up as much as he can. 5 players across the board now needing to be eliminated so that Storm Surge does not get activated. For those of you who are fans and favorites for Gloves and Psycho, it does look like they're in a good position. Psycho's HP, however, across the board is going to break. And Gloves trying to utilize all builds to his advantage because 5 builds to his name is just not going to be enough. And he's going to get pumped from Matlick. And Matlick is able to pick up that one over there. GG. Psycho now needing to rotate as a solo. And for the most part, he doesn't look too happy on rotation right there. He's going to get eliminated over there and out. And that's a GG's for the players there. Let's go over to Travis and Rejects, who have done phenomenal already. Now on the low ground, something new coming in from these aggressive players. Let's get some noise as we reach those final rotations. And 28 players right now. A good rotation and a good lay here for Rejects and Travis. But Rejects finds himself in a tough position as he gets that elimination right there. Travis, pardon me. Rejects needing to take a med kit, but it doesn't look like he will do so in time. Now trying to pickaxe his way into the next zone. Does notice another player trying to get the attack gameplay on him, but he just needs to focus on that rotation right now. And Travis trying to find a new leadway for himself, and Rejects shooting left, right, and center as well. Rejects trying to find the time for him so that he can just get the time for that mech, and it does look like now will be the case as Travis leads and tops ahead as they slither their way into the depths of low ground. It is not the easiest rotations that they find themselves in, but they, for the most part, they stay alive, they stay successful, and it does look like he's able to find a tag on an opposition, but it won't mean much. Travis and Rejects very much alive right here. The mat counts looking very decent with 500 wood across the board, and Travis right there finding another opposition that deals significant amount of damage, not able to pick themselves up with another knock. However, the most eliminations that they can get right now take advantage of these end games because they're most possibly gonna be the victors for game number 1. But what will Rejects and Travis' final decisions mean? He drops down a player, and Rejects takes a significant amount of damage to himself, but he's gonna get that threshold, and there goes another elimination. It's Genie who's able to get eliminated right now by Rejects, and a really good position they find themselves in, just rotating around these houses in Pleasant Park. Hasn't been easy for the most part. Travis is gonna get hit extremely hard, he's gonna get knocked, but Rejects there to clean that one up. Now on 486 wood, it's Rejects against the world with 7 players remaining right here. That attack gameplay has been so saucy. As he lines up that play, he will get a huge, massive shot on these low ground players right here. We don't know who's alive, but I can tell you for the most part, they've dropped like flies because we are down to 4 players. It could potentially be a 1v2 G1. He jumps straight into that, and it's a 1v2 from Reject. That's an attack gameplay that we're witnessing. 2 chug splashes to his name. A victory royale, however, as he's able to steal that. What a fantastic display of competition that we had in game number 1. Talk about a clutch coming in from Rejects, however, as he was able to steal the show for himself. An absolute GG's. So many eliminations across the board. I'm talking about double-digit eliminations. What does this mean, though, for the game? I mean, they've taken the lead. They've headshot snipe Woke. Name on Woke got eliminated quite early. We don't know the positions of the likes of Reepsy and Crispy. Where are they positioned in the tournament? But we're going to do a little bit of a check here and there to see exactly what is the play. But GG's. Guys, we're going to be taking a little bit of a short break, but don't go anywhere. Make sure you guys are entering into the giveaways. !raffle in the chat if you guys want to win a chance at a 30-day Exitlag code. We'll be giving them to 5 people, but only 1 will be walking away with 180 days Exitlag access. So make sure you guys go onto social media, tag LITE Gaming as well as a friend with the YouTube link. Let them come to the chat, and that will definitely increase the odds of you winning the giveaways over here, guys. It's going to be very interesting to see what the next game on a hand is going to be looking like. Talk about a massive of gameplay that we had witnessed from the Goliath boys. Rejects, of course, solo clutching that and getting a victory royale 1v2 situations. I mean, even if it didn't come down to that, he could have even healed off with those 2 chug splashes if it did come down to that battle. But Rejects ended up quite quickly, and I mean, it does look like the oppositions on height or wherever they were positioned didn't just have that HP at hand in order to clutch up. But still, what a massacre of gameplay that we had witnessed right now. I mean, Rejects grabbing the first game sets the tone for the rest of the games right now. And talking about games, let's actually look at the leaderboard right over here, guys, for game number 1. For those people who are just joining us, welcome. We are just into the games, and as you guys can see, Travis and Reject with 20 plus points distance to their oppositions. Okay, in first place we got Travis and Rejects with 84 points. In second is Ginger and Zakis with 62. In third is Piano and Lurker with 58. In fourth it's Dibs and Spooky with 54. In fifth, it's Rakic and Dekov with 48. In sixth, it's BVD Out and Outus. Bean and Outus with 44. And in seventh is LITE, CK and Bojo with 42. In eighth is Storm and Keaton with 42. In ninth is Trilix and Tyler with 40. And then in 10th, it is Race and Genie FPS. I mean, the top 10 right now, the top 10 to 5 to 5th, are very much close on points. So at least we know that those there, the people who have really stolen those Travis and Rejects with those amount of kills. Guys, we got the schedule. Game is just about to start, or has started already. The players are playing for a total prize pool of 9,000 Rand. First place being 5,000 Rand. Second, 2,800 Rand. And third being 1,200. So let's go jump on board with the players right now to see exactly what is the play, what is happening. Where are these players positioned? Because it's going to be interesting to see exactly what the likes of. Let's go jump on board with the winning teams of Rejects and his teammate right now. They are obviously still set up in lobby. So me and you will have a little bit of a more chat across the board over there. What do you guys have to say for that gameplay coming up from Rejects? Like, man, what a clutch play, honestly. And also, if you guys have not heard who these sponsors are, it is no other than Zorea, Light Gaming, and Exitlag with the juicy Light Winter Duo Cup. I mean, it's fantastic, you know, the new sponsors that come aboard and everything across over there. Oh, let me just fix this. There we go. My green screen chat is really messed up. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. As long as you guys get to see this and hear my voice, that's what you guys are all coming here for, right? If I'm not mistaken. I mean, why else would you guys want to watch this beautiful cast? Game has started. Let's go jump on board with the players over there across the board with the winning team, Rejects and Travis. So now, with these like players jumping on board with game number 2, they've set the tone for the rest of the tournament over here. Game number 1 itself was very, very beautifully stacked. You had Storm Surge since Zone 2, and it just kept on going with the action not stopping. The catty corner drop coming in from Travis and Rejects. You know, the grinders and the winners of game number 1. That's exactly what game number 2 means for them. Whether they contested of spawn or not, it'll be nice to know. But yeah, nobody just takes game number 1 and goes into game number 2 with no confidence. I mean, that confidence boost that they are going to get right now out of this tournament or game number 1, it's going to be massive. You know, the opportunities that they grab themselves is going to be really juicy. But let's go on board, guys, with more players on board over here. So let's go see what Temperat happened off stream over there. How the things went for them. Does look like they're also going to get contested to some extent over here. And this is Temperat's home. You don't go to Temperat's home and expect to walk out of this. So I'm interested to find out how Tem and Zorro work out their drop spot now that it's contested. Guys, the winners of each giveaway will be happening at the end of the stream. We're going to draw 5 winners for the 5 30-day Exitlag codes that are available. And then we're going to be drawing 1 winner for the 180-day Exitlag code. So make sure that you guys are, for the 180-day code, make sure you guys are sharing the stream, tagging a friend on social media on Twitter, and tagging LITE Gaming with the YouTube link as well in there so that they can come and watch. That way your odds are increased and you have a good chance of winning the 180 days of Exitlag, guys. So you never need to worry again in future regarding the Middle East break, and if you do manage to win yourself 180 days. So that's exactly how it's done, and again, we'll talk more about that every game. And yeah, it's gonna be very much interesting to see how these players are lined out. Let's go see who else we got in this tournament, guys. We got so many players that, you know, we're missing out on action over here. Let's go over to Punishes, Aviva, and Romike to see what's happening in their gameplay. You know, we did see them with a semi-decent pop-off to clutch qualifying. I mean, in game number 1 to 4, they just were not going to qualify into finals, but they somehow pulled the rabbit out the hat, and they did that. The content creators that we have here in the LITE Winter Duo Cup have managed to secure their way into finals. I mean, that's fantastic. It's a good job across the board, and I'm happy that this is something we get to spectate in the finals over here. So, second game, the action still hasn't picked up yet. A lot of passive gameplays across the board still happening with us right now. So 84 players remain right here, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what goes into play. Let's see what loadout they get from their team. He's using quite the mats over here. What loadout do you guys get? That was really synchronized and quick. Oh, and they just get themselves some blue AR and a blue AK across the board over there. Let's go jump on board with Stilt and Vogue. You know, these are the players that are in the tournaments as well. So let's go see what's happening with it. It does look like Vogue and Stilt are going to be eliminated. So that's a GG's out the books over there. And something that we just not happy about. Infernal, let's see what's happening with Infernal. Infernal also very much eliminated quite early. Exility, let's see what's happening with Exility. Exility also not in this tournament. All these players sort of dying of spawn very quickly. On the other hand, we do got 7 less. So let's see what he and Havocs do in this tournament. Havocs, a very prominent player. I mean, the only trio member to go into the heats for this season for FNCS. So that was nice to see from the Storm Teshros, Keaton, and Havocs. But it's 7 less and Havocs who are going to be in this tournament over here. And a little bit of a freeze coming through. I think we are back. We are back, guys. Apologies for the stream cut. So Buzzy and Sobzy are able to load into the game as a full duo, but it does look like they have a mess on their hands as they're about to get doubly keyed, but they now the aggressors as the players try to disengage to the best of their ability and talk about a org connection that we've witnessed right now. Sobzy and Buzzy turning their backs around, and he's gonna get tagged up quite a bit. Buzzy needing to full commit to the situation. The question is, will he? Does it look like it has Sobzy and them just rotate? Let's go jump on board with other players. Bean and he's a duo. So let's see exactly what's happening over there. I mean, they here to set, you know, an example from Bean that no matter the age, you can still compete. And for the most part, that's what we get to witness from Bean in certain aspects. I mean, in the semifinals, they did manage to grab game number 1. However, the consistency lacked quite a bit, and they were just not in that position anymore. It does look like they're going to get ramped up fully, but now dropping all the way to ultra low right here. Bean and Altus in a tough, sticky position. He's got that sniper ready, locked and loaded. Will he be able to connect and turn the tables around is the question, as he's consistently being put pressure on from his oppositions. Right there is the attempt at snipe, but it doesn't go to his advantage, which the hopes and dreams would have been. But yeah, right as you guys can see right here, does look like for the most part, Bean and Altus are able to hold their ground, hold their walls, not allow any enemies to sort of negate their way in. He's trying to load up there, nothing to hit, however, and he's just gonna put on that sniper sort of pressure as well, you could say, to the most part, because you don't become too aggressive, or you don't focus too much in these positions with when that sniper is being played out quite actively. But Bean and Altus, you know, here to dominate as much as they can. 74 players across the board who remain. And I think we may just see that Storm Surge activation coming to play as well. Martin gets a knock. Potash gets that elimination confirmation. Tollus is out of this game as well as he gets eliminated. So 72 players now remain for us. They're going to now make that rotation out of the situation. So let's see what it means for the other players as we go and focus on them right now. Again, guys, reminder that we are using POVs from Discord. So if you are witnessing sort of a laggy gameplay, understand that it's the best you can actually get when it comes down to Discord. So some people may just not have the best quality, and some people like Psycho and Gloves, they have a good, decent amount of quality. As they rotate here in a monstrous truck, you can see they do a hill climb of their own. Surprise, surprise, though, I'm seeing the loadout that they're getting out of Dirty Dogs is just not it. I mean, who comes out of a full POI, a full named POI on top of that matter, with just a grey pump and a AR? Like, honestly, that is very disturbing over here. The nice thing about trucks, guys, is you don't need to build as aggressive as we are seeing right now from the players. But talk about a wobbly drive that we are witnessing here. Does look like they're gonna try position themselves to try get some mat counts or, you know, loadout that was from previous situations. So there goes the loadout. They know exactly where to find these things. And there we go. So the loadout looking very much decent. The player does get revived. We are at a number of 73 players remaining in the leaderboard. I doubt it's enough for Storm Surge across the board. But let's go over to Neymar and Woke and Haz. They were eliminated quite early out of their gameplay. It does look like, however, they're making the rotations in the Storm, and we'll let them be. We don't want to give them too much of a spotlight for individuals to say, hey, we are going to do a little bit naughty. So for Sobzy and Buzzy, it does look like they've managed to make their way, deal enough damage across the board to actually survive the Storm Surge. I don't think, again, it's going to activate, one player above it. But for the most part, the LITE Winter Duo Cup is still remaining very much challenging. You know, those placement points only start to kick in when there's like about 59 players remaining, if I'm not mistaken. No, when there's about 40 players remaining, 40 teams remaining. So a couple teams are ready right now with those placement points on board. So that's going to be really good for these guys here. But Buzzy and Sobzy now needing to just, you know, position themselves in a more depth situation. "69 players, 23 seconds remaining until that Storm Eye fully shrinks into the third zone aspects. They got a launch pad, a org, a blue tag, an inflatable, 2 big parts, 3 minis. They're fully kitted in order to go into the end game with the most placement points as they can possibly. Let's go over to Temperat and Zaro as they were contested in the previous round of game number 2. But that zone rotation looking pretty much tough on them. And I don't know how they're going to get out of this situation. It does look like Temperat and Zaro were the trio sort of going W key, Bean, and Zaro. Because if you see where they're positioned right now and you see what's happening, you can see exactly that this is where all that action unfolded for us. But it does look like they have a Ferrari and they're ready to load that into the vehicle with some petrol. Will we see another rotation coming in from Temperat and Zaro? Maybe that's why some peace and calm in mind in terms of staying all the way back here until the very last moment came into play. "66 players in 30 seconds until that zone starts to shrink right here." And for Temperat and Zaro, it comes down to consistency across the board. If they can remain consistent as much as possible, guys, I'm telling you, we can find them winning a lot of tournaments. There goes that rotation for them. Will he connect the snipe is the question. Oh, just look at that beauty of a rotate, you know? Everyone looking up like, oh my god, it's a Ferrari, it's not Superman. But a truck comes into the place of Temperat and he's gonna get knocked. What a crazy play that was over there. He's still gonna get eliminated and now Zoro's left here as a solo. as Quake ZA just a full-on brings in a monster truck and double keys the box over there. That was not the play for both teams across the board, because now you have Temperat and Zorro having one player in their team, Quake ZA in their end as well, also just having one player in their team. Just talk about a weird way to sort of play that aspect out, and they just get eliminated like that. So not really what you want to witness across the board over there. Again, we are finding Glabarama and Psycho with not that much mats at hand, and they can't really be focused right here, because the focus means that they use their bare minimum mats that they already have right here. They need to deal the pressure back to these players. If anything, Psycho and Glubs can do that because they're such good fighting players. So they can't let the pressure detect how they play, how they disengage from situations, but only 18 builds to Glub's name right here, guys. What is their off-spawn loadout or rotation looking like? Because they're not getting the best they can right now. And Psycho all the way down to 30 HP. Glubs is going to try hold off with the enemies right here. Good pump on his end as he gets a peanut butter edit, but it does look like he goes down into the pit. And he's going to get eliminated. Unfortunately, didn't render on his screen that he got shot down. And we're not sure exactly who these players are to deal with the Wraith onto Psycho and Glubs. But if you look at Psycho, he has a decent amount of mats to himself. He does need, however, to heal up back to a decent amount of HP if he's going to be looking to fight. No pressure on the team. We'll let them do their jazz and dance around as much as they can. Let's go over to the Quav and Rakic to see exactly what is happening in the books over here. So 60 players remaining, still a couple of people remaining right over here, guys. And we can definitely see that Storm Surge will be coming into play anytime soon. There's that activation or warning that we just mentioned right now. For the most part, they're going to try get some fire across the board. Maybe it puts in pressure on some of these players over here. But there goes the focus and beam right now from Luke Rakic, unable to connect anything, however. Ooh, does look like their player did get sniped, and now Rakic and Dayquav want to take the advantage of this position. And in fact, they are able to pick up the loadout, and they can even go back to their base if need be to stay safe. But they've got a launch pad, they got the mats material counts as well. Talk about a gift from Fortnite. Just a little bit Christmas came early type vibes for Dayquav and Rakic, as they don't need to deal any of the damage to get the loadout they have in their books. 130 damage above, 6 plays remaining. It does look like, however, Rakic and Dayquav very much in a safety position in terms of that Storm Surge activation going across the board. Maybe we can go jump on board with some of the other oppositions that we have, or players that we have across the board. Maybe even a Viva for the most part, because I'm pretty sure they are in a tough sticks situation as well. Let's go jump on board with them right now. See whether or not they're able to survive. It does look like they have a decent amount of damage actually. So here I was being a bit unmindful about Aviva and Rakic. Does look like everyone's sort of chilling though. So no need for the players here. Race gets eliminated. We'll just go back onto Glubs and not onto Glubs and Psycho, onto let's go onto Rejects and them, see what's happening, what the gameplay is looking like. trying to get this solo player eliminated and dead. It does look like this will be the play, however. Oh, just 30 damage. And knock comes into play. He's going in for the crazy damage, but unfortunately unable to connect it. Here's a purple pump tag play coming in from Rejects. We did see him in game number 1 with a bloodbath and a half, and they are going to get that knock over there. So GG's. Do they have the launch pad needed in order to make the rotation of the max pool that they have on their hands? Let's go over back to Luka Rakic and Dukov as they make these rotations as a solo now. However, and 67 damage below, it does look like Dukov, or who we spectating right now? Dukov now needs to make these rotations as a solo, and with not that damage to his name, we could potentially be looking at him being eliminated due to the storm surge. 30 seconds on that storm surge right now, and Dukov really not in a good position. His mat count is still very much looking juicy on his end. The audio coming out from Luka Rakic is quite terrible, so just gonna try to refresh that out, and it doesn't seem to fix out, unfortunately. Apologies to the audience here, where you have to bleed from your ears in order to watch the best casting over here. And there goes the rotation. It's a max pull from Dukov as well, so he's gonna need to focus on rotating at the same time utilizing his heal. 6 players need to die before he can do anything, and he's just getting tagged up quite severely right now. He is in the next zone, however he's gonna get eliminated from behind, and Dukov fortunately going down quite quickly due to that storm surge over there, as well as the oppositions around him. On the other hand, guys, it's Buzzy and Sobzi, who has only 1 player to his name. He's going to use the medkit sort of play to start the heal offs over there quite early, and a couple more players dying to that storm surge, and just not what you really want from these players right now. And he does not look like he's going to find himself out of this situation. Unfortunately, that's just going to be a GG's across the book as he gets eliminated over there. Let's go over to Rejects and Travis. It does look like, however, they're going to find themselves being eliminated. Maybe we can get Puds and Martin over here. Yes, we can. So Puds and Martin now making a rotation as a duo. 22 plays remaining. 3 eliminations to their name. The Chug Cannon as well. So even a kill off, a possibility that we can get out from Martin and Potash. A launch pad gets placed here for Martin, and it's a low launch, and Potash honestly sent across the globe to the pits of low ground, and he now needs to make his way back to Martin or to some clutch up or to that matter over there. The quality we're getting out here from Potash is not the best, but it will have to do, guys, as he makes the rotation here in the end game. 14 players remain right now, and you know, for the most part, he looks a bit confused, and he goes down to low ground. A play in the cone and a good 37 pump from him. He needs to pickaxe his way out of this position. Martin gets eliminated. Potash now left alone in this team as a solo to clutch up those placement points as he worms his way through the low grounds. Let's see exactly what happens, and it's a pump to the face from Piano, if I'm not mistaken. 8 players, so 8 teams remaining right here. Let's see exactly what the decisions will be going into play for most of these guys right now. And it does look like the stream will pause, so unfortunately we won't be able to see that dying win that we so wish we could have. Most of these players already, guys, in the end games have already died. Does look like B-Boy, however, still very much alive in this one. He lands on top of a player on height. He gets that elimination as well. And he got the Chug to his name. 4 players remaining. This could possibly be a replica with the rejects. However, now with B-Boy, he lines up that AK, and unfortunately not going to be able to clutch anything. He's also got a flopper in the back pocket. It doesn't look like he has a lot of Chug cannon reloads to his name. And there we go. GG, B-Boy with the victory royale and a massive clutch all in all. GG's. You just love to see it when untapped talent manages to win a game over there. So massive shout out to the boys coming out from B-Boy and Morg with a GG's. Across the board, guys, this one was quite weird. We had sort of Neymar and Woke eliminated quite early, then followed by Gloves and Cycle being pinched, and then after that Luca and Dekov as well being eliminated across there. So the pro players being eliminated very early sets the tone differently for game number 3. We can only hope that things sort of change now going into the next game. We had like sort of the middle game number 3. If you don't clutch up this game, if you don't get any wins this game, you can say GG's, because that's the prize pool gone, and we're going to be looking at that prize pool breakdown at the beginning of next game. So don't worry about that, guys. If you guys are just joining us, make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a like as well, and turn on post notifications. Guys, there's a raffle going on for 5 winners, guys, who will be walking away with 1 times 30-day Exitlag access. And then there's a massive 180 days that you could win for yourself as well. Make sure to go to social media, tag a friend as well as LITE Gaming with the YouTube link, and tell them to come and watch you. It will increase the odds of you winning the 180-day raffles. Guys, we'll see you guys in just a bit as we set up game number 3. Time is flying. So are these kills. So are these players. Let's see exactly what goes into play for the next game.
My whole life through, life through is all
Okay, guys, and we are back for game number 3. Before we actually do that, let's look at the leaderboard for us after that massive game number 2. So that was where really the action unfolded for us, and we can go and see the leaderboard right now. So let's actually leave that call from B-Boy. And there we go, guys. So Piano and Lurker sort of taking this first place position. An interesting game. What? Okay, so Piano and Lurker honestly showing up to par. And I can tell it's that Splitgate gameplay that we get from Lurker. Nah, I'm only kidding. But in second place, LITE Gaming and Punishers. It is LITE, CK, and Bojo with 100 points. Tied with Pooper Troopers, Dibs, and Spooky. So that's going to be interesting across the board over there. Travis and Reject in 4th. Not a half decent game for game number 2. And Storm and Keaton in 6th with 78, making somewhat a consistent gameplay. Card and Dabs in 7th with 72, tied with Trilix and Tyler for 8th. Punishers, XFA, Ginger and Zakis in 9 with the, again, same sort of situation we've seen from the Travis and Rejects with 8 points. But guys, it's nobody's game yet. Like I mentioned, game number 3 sets the tone for the rest of the tournament. So talking about the rest of the tournament, let's go jump on board with game winners B-Boy and Morg, as they were able to successfully clutch up that situation for themselves. And I'm going to see what that game is looking like. But before we do, let's also look at the schedule, guys. The game should have started. We're having probably some difficulties across the board over there. But let's look at that prize pool, guys. The prize pool being what you guys are all here for, what the players are here for. It is that 9,000 Rand juicy prize pool. First place taking 5,000, second place taking 2,800, and third taking 1,200. So very much interesting to see that this is the reality that we have right now for the LITE Gaming Duo Winter Cup, where Piano and Lurker are taking that first place as it stands. That consistency across the board is being recognized, but it's nobody's game until third, fourth game has sort of completed, and then you can judge. But if there's consistency from both 3, 2, 4 players, then we are in a tough stick situation. But yeah, that first place position is occupied right now by Piano and Lurker. Let's see what they can do in terms of those. But the games are going to be starting right now, and we're going to stay on board with game winners number 2 to see how they perform throughout the entire off-spawn situation, whether or not they are contested. What is it like for them? So 94 players queue up into the game over here, guys. 94 juicy players queue up into the game. It's going to be very, very hectic for game number 3 yet again. That consistency in levels, in player base, is really where it's going to be entertaining. So I've been seeing somebody in the chat since semi-finals 1 who's been requesting something for me. So Shadow, if you are in the stream right now, here's a little bit of a raw for you. Very awkward raw, but there you go, man. So it does look like B-Boy and them are contesting Ricey and E-Tech. Oh, I'm not entirely sure where they land. Does look like he goes directly for the sphere to sort of make the rotation into Orchard. So it's a massive split drop from them, and it does look like he's able to utilize to his best advantage. But if there's a play on height, you just manage to sneakily land on height over here on the top, very top of the top, then he would have been eliminated. But look, he's got a full loadout. He's got a scar. He's got a pump, he's got a sniper, he's got some minis. what more do you want from a single drop spot? Talk about broken, chat, because that is a display of broken. Green pump, purple scar, a blue sniper, 6 minis. He's really chilling. Morg is really in a good position going forth, and uncontested drop spot that we have for them. Let's go watch Clubs in Cycle of Spawn, because for the most part, every endgame aspect, they're going into the endgames with little to nothing. I mean, last game it was 20 builds, the previous one was 21, so like literally just not the best loadout. Always walking out with a grey pump as well, and you know, green AR, but this time around does look like RNG is more so on their end. So Neymar just hasn't had the time of day to show up to the tournament just yet. And we're going to see him not on the top of the leaderboards just yet. I mean, game number 1, he died of spawn. Game number 2 as well. And those points are just not going to be recognized across the tournament. So Neymar just not yet here in the final sort of rotations just yet. So that's a GG's in the book, one that we don't really see that often, and I don't think we're gonna see a terrible performance out from him just yet. It's too soon to say, yo, GG's. Neymar has not placed top 10. Guys, this is Neymar after all, who we talking about, a player and talent that often clutches up as much as he can. So honestly, I don't write off that Neymar's performance has been solidified just yet. We got to wait for those final moments to sort of come into play. And it does look like Piv and his duo are very close to B-Boy and Morg, who B-Boy and Morg were the Game 2 winners of the LITE Duo Winter Cup, brought to you by LITE Gaming, Zorea, and Exitlag. So make sure you guys are in the description, giving each and every one of them support, whether it's social media or Twitter. Go over there right now and show support. Another thing as well, guys, is make sure you guys are entering in those raffles. There are going to be 5 winners for the 30-day Exitlag codes, and then on top of that, guys, we're going to have 180 Exitlag day codes drawn. And the best way you guys can, you know, get that experience, get that player base, or get that opportunity to win that 180 day code is by simply inviting your friends and family into the stream on social media by tagging them and LITE Gaming to say, come and watch the 9,000 Rand finals, and link the YouTube chat, link the YouTube stream in the tweet or on your social media. That way the odds are with you. If you do that, I can guarantee that maybe you will be walking away with the 180-day Exitlag code. It's going to be a raffle, of course, drawn up at the end of the stream to determine who wins that. But if you most likely want the odds with you, do exactly that and share the stream as much as possible across the board. One players, you can tell the double key aspects are picking up quite significantly. I mean, these players are no longer playing, and they're becoming very much aggressive. Because 81 players, that is the lowest I think we've seen it so far in the countdown timer that we have on our hands. But the Quava and Luke Rackage, they need to clutch up big time as well if they want any prize pool to the name. Code Rackage, oh, guys, code LITE in the item shop for LITE for Exitlag. If you guys would like to find yourself a discount, maybe you don't win the 30-day code, go over to LITE Exitlag and use code LITE when purchasing. You'll get a good significant amount of discount across the board. Martin and Potage, one of the duos to make the end games successfully, and we find them yet again here throughout the scenes to sort of clutch up as well. I mean, it's not going to be easy as to say. You can only wait and see what happens. Making the rotation obviously to center zone or wherever the case they can. I see a massive sniper in the kill feed, 252 snipe meters away. That's gonna be definitely recognizable. Let's go over to Inferno, who's in the games finally. We didn't see them too much in game number 1 and 2, solely because they didn't get to the end game aspects. But here they are now, guys, in the tournament. Inferno and Ethan, who are left to clutch up as well in their game number 3. We've come to a position where Piano and Lurker take that first place as it stands for game number 2. But anything's possible and things can possibly change on their end. Maybe we're going to get that change happening. We'll just have to wait and see. As Inferno and his duo sort of just farm up. Let's go jump on board with more people in tournament. Racing Genie FPS. We did see them in game number 1, sort of clutching up quite significantly, but game number 2 just didn't go in their favor. And some of these things happen. I mean, you are expected to do good and not have that consistency across the board, but it's always good to have it. Try work as much as possible as you can. Does look like he's able to get that revive, and I was hoping that he was going to make a play for it, and you can see finally he does so. Ricey and E-Take, birthday boy and E-Take, still very much alive in game number 3 as well, and it does look like he's also going in for a reboot, so won't give them too much of an attention over there on day. And Perfect Smiley, let's see what's happening over here, guys. They were quite close to, you know, B-Boy and Morg, but they find themselves now rotating just outside into the main lands of Corny Complex, and loadout looking pretty much decent. Pulse rifle, green tack, some red peppers, a sniper, so they're looking really juicy right here. "71 players across the board. 46 seconds until that zone starts closing in as well. And I mean, it's not a reflection of game number 1, but it is still very much a stacked game. Here's a couple disguises that we've seen in a competitive tournament. You love to see it. You just love to see it. Fortnite ZA with all the aspects of entertainment and everything across the board. I mean, crazy stuff. You love to see it. What has come into play over here? Piv and Smiley just rotating in a couple box and grass. Nothing too serious over here. He jumps out of that on his end. They grabbed himself a juicy launch pad as well on that rotation. There's a storm surge warning, which I know for a fact won't be activating in the scenes over here. So that's going to be a GG's. But game number 3, guys, brought to you by LITE Gaming, Exitlag, and Soraya sponsoring the events over here, which is really what stands out for us, guys, is these events. 9,000 Rand prize pool, and really a story that could be told for the first time ever. Piano and Lurker winning their duo tournament. Question is, will they remain with that consistency? I haven't seen any kill feed just yet, so we could potentially witness them making it all the way into the end games, and that's where it's going to be, again, storytelling moments, guys. That's what really moves the community as much as possible. And a good pump from Psycho and Gloves over here as they fight themselves in the pits of dirty docks. The zone's still very much on them, and now we're starting to see a more fun, beautiful game from Gloves and Psycho, but a little bit of a third party coming into effect over there with a huge 105 body snipe and a third party focus now as he's able to utilize some minis. He still has a big part left to go, and Gloves and Psycho can survive this, honestly. And we do see another player getting revived so that Storm Surge somehow stays alive, guys, at 493 damage above for Gloves and Psycho. As they double key, they managed to get that wall. Their match count looking so much better than it has in the previous games that we've been witnessing them. He's gonna try line up a snipe, but unfortunately just isn't gonna connect. And that Storm Surge is gonna activate somehow, somewhere across the board. It happens, but that's what I love about Fortnite South Africa, is that they don't stop until the very end. And we are witnessing Gloves take on huge amount of damage dealt to his oppositions right now. Does look like they get a knock over here as well, and now the opposition trying to disengage as much as he can. He's going to utilize a launch pad to his name, and this could definitely help out Gloves and Psycho to rotate into the next zone quite successfully. The Gloves and them now sitting on 2 eliminations, and that's where it really gets juicy right now. Trying to focus up on the players rotating in the ocean, and it doesn't look like they're going to connect any shots whatsoever. But there's a loadout. I say the RNG is too good to be true that, you know, Gloves and Psycho don't even win this game. It's possible, and we're going to witness it, guys. Watch the space. We're going to have Gloves and Psycho win this game. Their entire loadout game 1 and 2 has been so horrendous. No mats going into the end game position. No proper pump going into the end game. It's either gray tack or gray pump or green pump. But this time, that loadout there is really juicy. He's going to get tagged up quite a bit. Gloves now on 25 blue, and Cycle just about 140 if I'm not mistaken on his end. But they have the heals to utilize and get, you know, just the right amount of health back. It's 195 on Gloves and 190 somewhat on Psycho. Look at these players swim here like fish. A nice 22 tag. 44. He's managed to crack 44 white. That's the thing about being in water, is that you gotta spam build as much as you can possibly. Again, 44 coming in from Gloves. Gloves really dealing the damage that we have over here. Will they get this elimination to their name is the question. Does not look like, but a lot of builds being utilized from their opposition. A nice 22 to say, hey, you got lucky this time, but next time it is gonna be a full-on metal W key as well as a .59 players. Gloves and Psycho has had enough screen time to show us exactly what loadout means for them. Neymar and Woke, a duo we have not seen in the Duo Winter Cup, but this time around they are alive. They've positioned themselves in a good position, and that is on a pylon on height. And we saw Woke's username in game number 1, Woke Up on Height. So we are finding this to be somewhat true. Nice tag coming in from Neymar. That zone starts to shrink, and we can see whether or not Neymar's positioning has secured them the next zone. Still so much players across the board that are alive right now, guys, and you know, those placement points just haven't settled in just yet. Let's go over to game one winners, Rejects and Travis, to see what is happening with them. How have they done? And it does look like we're going to find Goliath, Rejects and Travis being eliminated. So that consistency is slacking quite a bit from the team over there. Ricey and E-Tech still alive in this one with 641 damage. It does look like he's managed to break down a player, and he goes in for the full-on W key, but he's going to get tagged up quite significantly, and now needing to heal. He doesn't have the amount of HP to continue this W key, and it doesn't look like they're in zone, so they need to make a top in to get into the next zone, and he's going to leave that med kit behind. So now Ricey just on a pits of hell right here. It does look like he's going to get knocked to the storm with literally 9 HP. He gets knocked down. It does look like he's going to die here due to the storm. However, Ricey not staying up focused. He's going to get eliminated across the board over there. And if I'm not mistaken, that was Gloves and Psycho who got that elimination. We did see those skins earlier on. E-Tech being on a heavy amount of pressure as he's just trying to heal up, but he's going to get focused up quite severely. No pressure on them, however, as we let them do what they can do best. And let's go over to Gloves and Psycho just to see where they position. And you can tell, yes, it is Gloves and Psycho to pick up the elimination on Ricey. Ricey found himself in a tough position, but it's good to see, you know, those eliminations across the board start to pick up for Gloves and Psycho. That placement points as well across here. There goes the launchpad play to get into the first 50-50 zone. I say first 50-50 zone because it's almost like it is your first moving zone in a way, but that's just me thinking out loud. It is the 50-50 zone aspects that in 40 seconds come to life over here, and you can find Psycho and Gloves in a good position of hugging the mountain and a good rally location to find themselves in, because when those rotations sort of move more upwards, all the players on low ground who haven't already made those early rotations are going to find a really tough rotation for themselves, having to pickaxe or shoot their way through previous builds. Maybe that's not the case and it does go to the low ground. Then all the high ground players need to start putting themselves down. And there's E-Tech with an elimination from Gloves. And geez, that is a team wipe coming in from Gloves and Psycho, as they were just able to pick up E-Tech, the duo partner for Ricey, and not a fun day or party day here for Ricey, as he's not able to celebrate anything other than just his birthday, as he's now find himself getting eliminated mid-game quite significantly, more so game 1, 2, and 3. We still got game 4 and 5. If they need to clutch up, they need to get those victory royale winnings and a couple eliminations to their name if they want to see themselves on top of the leaderboard, which I really hope we can see from Ricey, and really not underrated talent. He's so good. Ricey's a massive player for the Punishers organization. Now with the rotation and the refresh of mats from E-Tech, they are looking really solid right now. Gloves and Psycho. But for the most part, most of you guys are asking, what about Neymar? What about Woke? Where are they situated? And we're going to go over to their gameplay right now. And you can see it's a good launch pad from him. And will they be able to secure that height is the question. It does look like he's managed to just top ahead of his enemies over here. It does look like, however, Woke up on height, very much damaged. but you know, they don't know who they're up against. They're very much confident, seeing that they dealt that good amount of damage to the teammates. And now it's Neymar and Woke who are just getting damaged left, right, and center. I think another launchpad play could come into effect, but it doesn't look like it. There we go. That's what we love to see. The damage, however, on Neymar, if he gets beamed somewhat anyhow, he will find himself in a tough position. He needs to just relax quite a bit and heal up. Does look like Woke is gonna get those eliminations across the board for his team, and that's gonna help them out so much in terms of kill points, and they find themselves a chug splash as well. They're able to heal up without needing to take those time and moments on minis. But does he get the piece control in? It doesn't look like it, but staying ahead of zone and topping is what is working here for Neymar and Woke. Their HP now needing to be refreshed as he takes a couple minis and maybe even a time for that big pot. Woke just focusing on that rotation as a solo, as he should, to get them in a good position of zone right here. And it does look like Neymar, however, he's gonna try steal height, and he does so indeed. Neymar on height, Woke up on height to follow up behind Neymar right there. And there you go, guys. This is definitely going to be a winning game for Neymar and Woke. You have to say it over here, guys, first and foremost, because if you're on height in these sort of sticky situations around turbulent mountains and so forth, you will find yourself winning the game. And they have a chug splash to their name as well, as Woke is able to pick up yet again another elimination. And talk about a bloodbath that is coming out from Neymar and Woke right there. They got 2 chug splashes as well, so if they need to heal up going into the end game, they can definitely pull it off, and they could win the game to make a massive comeback. I mentioned to you guys quite earlier, guys, if you want to win the game, you need to win it from game number 3. You need to start clutching 3 out of the 5 games, and that's exactly what's happening here with Neymar and Woke as they try to deal the damage across the board. And we will witness that right here from Woke as he just frags out like a madman. Neymar to join in with Woke on the low grounds over here. And we can only wait to see exactly what the final decisions will lead to. Will it be a victory? Will it be more kills across the board? Woke just honestly trying to deal as much as he can, but it doesn't look too good. Now literally 5 players across the board, and it does look like Neymar and Woke are the only duo, if I'm not mistaken, in this position. It is a 2v1 situation. Neymar trying to find out where this enemy is. It does look like for the most part they will get this victory royale, as well as another elimination to their name. And that's how you guys win games, is grab height secretly, steal it, dominate and conquer the entire game. Massive shout out for Neymar and them to keep their heads up, even though it was a tough position for themselves. You know, that's really where things sort of turn around for them. Hoping that that was good enough, though, for game number 3. We will have to wait and see what that means. But for Glubs and Psycho as well, we didn't get to see too much of their game, but I'm pretty sure they did extremely well. We can look at that statistics as we go into another break yet again for the LITE Winter Duo Cup. Game number 4 coming up, guys. So you're just going to have to wait and see what this will mean, though, for these players over here. A short break, and it is going to be ! raffle if you guys want to enter the giveaways we have on hand. 5 winners will be walking away with 30-day Exitlag codes, and then 1 winner will be walking away with the 180-day Exitlag code for themselves. So that's going to be very, very interesting. See you guys in just a bit.
My whole life through. My whole life through is all
extended break, and apologies across the board, guys. And I hope you guys are not too saddened by that. But a display of game coming out from Neymar work. You know, they know exactly how to utilize these aspects of height to their advantage, how to get as much eliminations when they are on height, and those sort of utilizations that they bring to the game. It's different. You never ever see such a gameplay unless it's like Rejects, Travis, unless it's Reapsy. Guys, talk about Reapsy. He's a massive high ground warrior. If he sees height, if he sees an opposition on height, he will go straight for it. Fortunately, we're unable to see Reapsy in today's finals as he arrives in PE with some internet issues. But he's a monstrous player, and I hope to see him in the heights yet again in the future. But you guys are all probably wondering, what's the leaderboard looking like? What's happening? Where's everyone? Has Neymar gone into the top 10? Was that good enough? Where are these players? No. Calm down, because it isn't the case yet, as Piano and Lurker still remain on top of the things. You know, that first place position, 152 points. Cotton Dabs making such a good, consistent gameplay. You know, getting 136 points for them. Punishers XFA, Ginger and Zaki's consistent, guys. I'm not even baiting, and I can even show you guys in proof, in writing, when I was warming up, you know, with my introductions. Hey guys, welcome to the finals. Some of the top players and most consistent players in the duo aspects is Ginger, and he's here to prove it. I haven't spoken too much about him because we haven't gotten his POV, so it kind of slipped my mind. But Ginger's been so consistent throughout the gameplay, so that's what we love to see. Xylo and Delex in 4th, LITE, CK and Boja in 5th. They need to clutch up game number 4. We want to see more of LITE Gaming in that first place position. We want to see them doing as much as they can for the LITE Gaming Duo Winter Cup. It's going to be very interesting to see exactly what that is going to be looking like. Dibs and Spooky, however, game number 3 just not looking in their favor, as well as Travis and Reject. It's time to pick up that pace. It's trying to bring up that massive gameplays that we did witness from Travis and Reject in game number 1. In 8th place is Asia and Alco. In 9th is going to be Potosh and Martin. And that's a beautiful 10th place for Rakic and Dakov as they rack up those points over there. But guys, prize pool is what they're all competing for, and that is a 9,000 rand prize pool across the board. So that's definitely gonna shake some boots up for game number 4. I can definitely tell you that. If who's his Neymar and will continue with that consistency, we will see them replay the entire semifinals that they did. The question is, will they do so? Will they, guys? Let's go over to, you know, the winners. Or not, let's not look at the winners, actually. Let's look at Moabs. We haven't watched Moabs in this entire tournament. I say we do so now, as they are off-spawn type situation. And you can see it's a good drop spot for them. It's a mini base drop spot just above Orchard, if I'm not mistaken. So that does look like the mini base at Orchard, and the loadout that you do get out of this position is fantastic. But Moabs and Energy haven't come to the party just yet for the LITE Winter Duo Cup finals. Maybe to this game number 4 is it. Number 4 is my lucky number. So who do you guys think I should be giving my luck to? If I say good luck, who do you guys think it should be? I want to see you guys, who you guys favoring the most, and then I'll give them my luck so that they can win the game across the board. Spam your guys' favorite teams in the Duo Cup finals over here, and we'll definitely be giving them some of the luck from me, because yeah, I can hold that ground, and let's see what happens with it. But yeah, loadout from the mini base not looking as saucy as we expected to do so over there. I mean, a grey pump and a grey SMG, not the best, but he does manage to find himself a green pump over there, and that's really going to be juicy as well. So yeah, Moab's Energy showing up to the party with a mini base drop for them. Perf and Smiley, on the other hand, they haven't had their time of moment just yet, and we can see him healing up already, taking up quite the serious damage, and you can't rotate in water with it, so he needs to make note of that. So there goes Piv and Smiley rotating on the outskirts, quite close to actually Bojo and Siki. The steamy stacks. That is where we're going to be seeing Bojo and Siki. And if they come through with the W key and manage to find these players over here, it's just going to be a GG's in their books over there. But yeah, Pivot Smiley as well, you know, haven't shown up to the party just yet. It's going to be interesting. I see Temperat going on social media, you know, with despair. Not quite happy with what's happened across the board. Not quite happy with what has happened in the games for them. You know, guys, we've got to switch up some of these phrases. Across the board, coming into play. I'm happy, you know, if you guys have any recommendations to improve the casting across the board for the next show, by all means, guys, shoot me a DMs on what you guys think I should change up, and I'll be happy to learn from you guys. You know, has been the main Frontier commentator for the Fortnite community. I'd want to represent some of the best, you know, words coming out of my mouth. So for Temperat and Zoro, they rotate out their POI into the mothership or the pirate ship over here and to loot up even more. But it does look like there is some oppositions around that lurk with the couple builds that we are witnessing, and it's always that juicy rotation that we get to spectate here from the players. And I'm seeing your guys hopes and dreams for me to think. I see Flaky says he hopes Zaki's wins, Delex and Xylo, and then I see one from Shadow saying CK and Bojo. You know, for the most part, guys, I wish CK and Bojo the best of luck going into game number 4. Let's see whether or not that luck works out. There goes that juicy rotation across the board. It's the Ferrari. He's flying. And within seconds, they cover up 600 meters. They can go in for that drop over there to secure themselves. A snipe, however, from the bridge. And now Temperat and Zoro can get that loadout drop that they need over here. I mean, you do get a secured launch pad as well from the drop, and that's going to be really helpful. And it's a deagle, but doesn't look like it's anyone's favorite in the team right now, as they're not going to be grabbing that. But let's go and see what is happening with Luca and Quav, as they are top 10 right now, guys. And it does look like we come and join them in the right time. Player drops straight into Luca Rakic right here, but he wins the one-on-one situation, and it was a massive pump coming up from Luca Rakic. He does have the advantage. The entire team has the advantage right here. He's going to try line up an AR spam, and will he get the wall is the question. Now dropping into the pits over there. It does look like the player, however, falls to damage, and Dekov is able to get that siphon, which by all means he did take up quite a lot of damage as witnessed over there. And that's a GG's from Dekov and Rakic. If they keep up this pace going into game number 4, guys, I can assure you they will do well in terms of ranking up on the leaderboard. And that's where things are going to be looking really juicy for the team right now. You know, Luca and Dekov have been duos somewhat now for 3 months, if I'm not mistaken. They've shown some really good, interesting gameplay, but they haven't, and if I'm not mistaken again, haven't won anything for their books. So hopefully this will be the case for the LITE Winter Duo Cup for them. But I see now Race and Genie finding himself in a tough position. Let's go jump on board with their gameplay as Genie gets knocked, and Race now needs to sort of focus on that rotation as a solo. He expands out quite juicy. It does look like maybe for the most part they've been very aggressive across the board. It's Swervy who manages to pick up that elimination on Genie, and Race trying to look for answers right here as he lines up a shot position. However, Swervy really quick. He does get a blank on screen. Does look like he's going to get himself eliminated, however. Swervy making that 1v2 play for the team. And that's going to be a oof in the chat. As Genie and Race not having the best of gameplays for them in game number 4. That shotgun and gold score can really be juicy with gloves. You know, the loadouts are starting to look so much better each game. And they line up a 3-2-1, and there goes a crack. Gloves now with the 36 on the body over there, and he's able also to put the pressure on for the team. And there you go, another shot to the Parasite, however, so that's not going to count any significant damage to the partner of the opposition. A full-on W key goes into this player who they've managed to really deal with the damage, managing to crack the player right there. Gloves and Psycho playing it slow, not getting too aggressive and overconfident. It does look for the most likes that the duo do manage to meet each other. And maybe if they go left and right, they are able to just peek in quite the damage. Psycho taking a good amount of damage to himself, so now he needs to sort of retreat into a safe haven for himself. Gloves keeping up the pressure, the side jump not going into his favor. They're gonna box up, stick to each other, try to take a big pot if he can possible, and just see how the tables have turned. The opposition's really putting in a good gameplay and not giving up so easily. That's what we love to see here in the Fortnite South African community, is that, you know, even though they've been absolutely beamed, they still managed to turn the tables for themselves, and now they find themselves in the advantage on height. The zone closing in 40 seconds, so now a couple decisions need to start getting into play. Who disengages first? Who makes the rotation? That is going to be interesting to see. You know, Psycho being a competitive player for Big 5 is leading the party and team into a good position. However, Gloves absolutely beamed. Chug Splash needing to sort of reload on its end, so not enough uses for the HP, and that pressure is still very much active coming in from the oppositions. Do they disengage from this successfully is the question we are all asking right now. Oh, blue pump, a gift from Haven. Now Psycho and Gloves can start that rotation. A petrol bomb or gas canister actually being exploded over here. You know, left, right, and center, Psycho and Gloves are just being focused on. You know, these rotations become extremely hard when your mats are depleted, players are looking at you and giving you the attention you don't deserve. Does look like for the most part they're gonna use a launch pad out of this. And Psycho going full right to go behind, and a really good decision. This is what I was talking about just a few moments before. You know, Psycho being a well-rounded player for the Big 5 and the only Fortnite player, if I'm not mistaken, for Big 5 esports. He's here to, you know, represent, and we'll take a... They are being pushed by aggressive players. Psycho needs to come on Gloves. Gloves trying to find the moment for himself to get that 50 pot in, but Psycho has been taking a lot of damage himself. 447. That is the mat count we have here on Aiden Ross of Clubs more so. That's not going to be looking good going into the end games. If they survive this, they're going to need somewhat an elimination, a refresh, even if it means that. Will we get it is the question. Will we be able to witness that refresh coming into play? As we get a little bit of a internet disconnection, we do apologize across the board, but we are back now, guys, so don't worry about it. And it does look like it's a good pump on the players here, and do they get this elimination is the question, as the players try to disengage from this. Gloves is just saying no, 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 and they know exactly where the positions are lied right here. Gloves does take a significant amount of damage to his HP. Now down to 25. Psycho down to 4 HP. That was their last bit of consumables. The zone is going to be pushing in. And unless they don't heal with that chug splash, they're going to be eliminated over here. Nice pump from Gloves, and they 50-50 this. Psycho does get the 1v2. He's managed to clutch that up well for his team. And just look at all that loadout and loot that they can get right here. But it does look like maybe they will find themselves in yet again another fight as a third-party situation gets involved over here. In fact, no third-party situation, as Psycho did clean up successfully. He wants to get this revive down because it can really do wonders for them. Once this revive is set in, we're going to leave here and go over to the other players and teams that we do have on board. But what a display of courage coming in for the players, Psycho and Gloves, as they managed to turn things around for them. On the other hand, does look like Temperat and Zoro are finding a much healthier game number 4 for them. Does look like they managed to get into the end games of the LITE Winter Duo Cup. Will they manage to stay consistent over here is yet to be known. But a good position for themselves. 50 players remain, and at least we are seeing a more slow competitive environment for these players here. Top 25 officially as it stands, and it does look like, you know, Temperat and them, they really want to try and make the play for those zones, zone mats. But you know what, you stay in your box, you're in a good position, you don't want to make any noise around you. Let's go over to Nemo and Woke, who have managed to secure themselves a good victory royale. You know, maintaining that heightened position. Game number 3 was really where it was all at. Beepo, on the other hand, he gets an elimination in the kill feed. And let these players sort of rotate right now, as Woke seems to be on height over here. Yep. Woke is always on height. You never will find him on the low grounds over there. So GG's. But really now is the question, is Goliath, Travis, and Reject in a good position? It does seem to be the question over here as they make a rotation to the outskirts to make a W key play. It does look like this is a questionable move though. You know, the zone's pushing in. They haven't found any eliminations, but they find themselves getting a refresh over here. And an elimination, in fact. So it does look like, for the most part, their mat count's looking really juicy. They also got a launch pad to now make a play back into zone. But Travis is going to get knocked. And Rejects almost gets knocked. Temperat and Zoro most likely trying to make the rotation into the box over there. But Goliath, Travis, and them find themselves in a halt as they get eliminated, so we won't put any pressure on them. It's Gloves and Psycho alive right now. Let's see whether or not this is the case right here. It does look like, however, Gloves was eliminated, and now Psycho is going to get focused up quite a bit. He's now down to 96 HP, and we can see whether or not he survived this. He is going to get full on W keyed, so Psycho and Gloves honestly not finding the best, and he's moving in circles trying to find a better way for himself, and he's going to get eliminated, unfortunately. So even though they've managed to clutch up that situation, Psycho and Gloves find themselves in a tough position, getting sent back to the lobby. And then all GG's across the board, because that was a really good sort of gameplay that we had to witness from Gloves and Psycho, you know, being pressured off the pressure, and they managed to sort of clutch up to a certain extent. However, as it just was not enough. Luka and Dukov here in this endgame's position, top 10 as it currently stands. But look at those eliminations right over here. They're going to use that launch pad to get into the 50-50 zone. For the most part, it does look like they're going to get absolute beam. Luka on 10 HP. It does look like this has managed, however, to separate them. No! Dukov also very quite low, and they find each other in a box, and they manage to stay alive for their dreams of placing here, guys, in the finals. We've got 3 seconds until we determine the first moving zone. Will it be on them? It's another max pool for them, but no worries, as they do have 6 red peppers that they can use to make those rotations right now. Does look like for the most part Luka, Rakic and Dukov are on the dead side rotation. However, Dukov now literally beamed all the way to 40 HP. Rakic gonna utilize the inflatable to get into the zone quicker, and maybe he can actually meet up with Dukov, who's managed to get ahead of zone, probably utilizing the launch pads that the oppositions had placed down. And we'll let Luka and Dukov sort of rotate freely in the endgames right now without any pressure whatsoever on them. Temperat and Zorro in the endgames over here as a solo. However, Temperat now needs to clutch up and get as much placement points as he can possibly. 27 players remaining. This is just game number 4, guys. We still got another bloodbath of a game to happen for us in game number 5. What an interesting rotation that we have on our hands here from Temperat. Will it be enough? He's down to 440 builds. That will definitely help him going into the last moments over there. But we'll go on board with Rakic and Dukov. Give them the showcase in talent, or the showcase on the broadcast over here. The rotation's coming to play. And oh, he almost scuffs up his teammate as he edits the ramp or the cone to only his advantage. The audio sort of cutting out here for Luka Rakic, but let's give him a watch, guys. Let's see exactly what clutch plays they are able to do as a duo. They're on the ultra low, a good place where you can honestly farm up placement points. And that is what they need, guys, because they are top 10. They have the elimination count to go into the end game. And it does look like, for the most part, it's not stopping here, as they will get some more eliminations and refreshes going into the last moments over here. trying to gather some time to get the big pot in. And I think they have enough for both big pots to be used up right now. So good HP on hand over here. It does look like a psycho moment here for Luka Rakic as he just jumps into the player's box. He gets an elimination over there, and that's going to be GG's. 109 builds or 10 builds at hand right here for the players, but Dukov managing to find yet again another player, and they're just racking up those kills now on 10 players remaining, and they're still on the very much lowest of grounds over here as they move left, right, and center, slithering themselves in between players as he beams yet again, trying to make a play for that chug cannon so they can go into a kill off if need be. But a player in the zone, and Luka just turns back. He says hello, and with a pump, he sends that player back into the lobby. Luka Rakic trying to get those huge headshot plays, but unfortunately, the Parasite just not playing to his advantage as he hits a huge significant 100 right now. The Quote with the winning shot, however, and 11 eliminations. Just talk about a GG's in the books over here for Rakic and Dukov. No mats at hand, no worries. It's Dukov to clutch up that elimination. GG's, guys. That was a huge game for them. Being that they were top 10, they can literally walk into game number 5, either first or top 3. I can guarantee you that. But we're going to have to wait and see what the next games or what the leaderboard really means. We don't know what happened with Name on Work, where they were positioned. We don't know how far Rejects went as a solo, seeing that he was beamed. You know, Travis had died. Some questionable plays coming in from Rejects and Travis as well as they go in to the depths of zone to get their elimination and refresh. Was it worth it? No, it wasn't, as they risked Travis HP and he got knocked and eliminated, confirmed immediately. Questions, so much questions that we have to wait and find out, guys. But before we go into the break, guys, I'd like to remind you guys that after game number 5, we're going to be doing the draw winners for the giveaways over here, guys. It's 5 times 30-day Exitlag codes that you guys could be walking away with. That is 5 different people in the stream that really walk away with this massive one. Another one is the 180-day giveaway that we have on our hand over here. How can you win that or any of these, guys? Is tag LITE Gaming on social media, whether it's on Twitter, as well as your friends, guys, with the YouTube link to make them come and watch and join you in the final moments over here, guys, for game number 5. We'll just have to wait and see whether or not who will be winning, who is in the winning aspects of game number 4. And now, guys, we have come down to literally this dying moment of game number 5. Who will be walking away with that top 3 prize pool? Talking about the prize pool, guys, here is the breakdown for you. So that first place grabbing themselves 5,000 Rand. I repeat, guys, 5,000 Rand for first place, and then 2,800 Rand for second, 1,200 Rand for third. So literally this dying moment where we will be jumping into quite soon is very close right now. I mean, first place is not guaranteed, 200 points. Second place is 190, and in first is still Piano and Lurker. Talk about consistency, that's what you love to see, but Card and Dabs are catching up slowly. You know, they're having more consistent games than Piano and Lurker off of game 2, 3, and 4. So game 2, 3, and 4 is really where they've been catching up, doing the most. It's that game number 1 for them that puts them in the second place position. But whether or not that consistency builds up and goes into game number 5, we'll have to wait and see. Again, Ginger and Zaki's, guys, that consistency for them, game 1, clutch up. Game 3, clutch up. Game 4, clutch up. I mean, that there, if they do the same bits and pieces for game number 5, we could be looking at the champions over there. Luka, Rakic, and Dakov. Honestly, massive gameplay for them as well. 168 points. And, 78 points just in game number 4 alone. So for them, game 1 and 4 is really where they showed up some promising gameplay. Xylo and Delex with 156 points. We're going to have to see and wait to see if that means anything. For LITE, CK, and Bojo, they have had a tough sort of progressive gameplay for themselves as well. We're going to have to wait and see again as well if it means anything. For Travis and Reject, 38 points, not too shabby as a solo, but it is the last game over here, guys. If you don't win and you guys are in top 5, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Let's see whether or not these games have already started. We can go over now to the gameplays. We can jump on board with Temperat and see whether or not the game has started. 74 players queued. The game is going to be starting anytime soon. I can definitely guarantee you that. But who do you guys think will be winning this tournament? Do you think that consistency from Piano and Lurker will be carried on into the games? Or will we be looking at Card and Davs, who by all means have been showing a much more consistent gameplay from game 2? So it's a matter of moment before we actually crown the first LITE Winter Duo champions. And I mean, that's going to be interesting to see how this pans out for some of these players. A lot of them also showing their emotions on social media, tweeting out some of these disappointment stuff. Guys, no worries. There's always next time. There's always that opportunity to grab the Vicroy in the next couple of games, and that can definitely happen. Well, today, just not today, it doesn't determine the rest of the Fortnite ZA tournaments that we've had to participate in. Let's go jump on board, guys, with Travis and Rejects to see what they off-spawn. In fact, Luka, Rakic, and Dakov, winners over here. Hello, game number 4 winners. We're going into that game 5 right now. Let's see what these players have to say about it. So a good rally drop spot that they find themselves jumping 1,000 meters into the map. Again, guys, if you guys want to enter the giveaway, this is your last chance, because as soon as game 5 is done, we'll close off the giveaways. We have some important announcements, which, by the way, LITE Dawn will be joining us at the end of game number 5 to announce some special things for you guys. So let's see what those special things will be. So don't go anywhere. In fact, when the game's over, that's where we should be having our most peaked concurrent viewers. So make sure you guys are sharing the stream. I want you guys to go on social media right now, share it across the board, tag LITE Gaming as well in that tweet, and let them know that you guys have shared the stream across the board. Be active in the chat, guys, because that will bring the odds for you to win the giveaway. A good, very still to drop for them. If they were contested, Luka Rakic would have been dead over here. But it does look like, for the most part, Misty Meadows is a very uncontested drop spot for them over here. And they're able to just utilize this to their advantage, because they can either choose to play it slow going into the end games over here, or choose to be aggressive. Whatever the case works for them, trust they know exactly what's at hand over here. Going over to Rome, Mike, and Aviva. Let's see exactly what has happened. Aviva absolutely beamed right now. Romike's movement, very godly. He's able to move left, right, and center, but does look like they have them cornered. Romike and Aviva not really in a good position as Romike gets absolutely beamed. His HP very low right now. The consumables are looking a bit tight as they get full on double key. Can they turn the tables around is the question. We'll have to wait and see to find out. Romike and Aviva quite tough on mats, on HP. No more resources at hand over here. Does look like the player will get absolutely playing with his cone, and I do apologize guys for the delay that we are receiving out from the Discord, but this is the best you can get honestly. So we can hear the sounds and it does look like they placed 33rd over there. So GG's to Aviva and Romike. We'll have to wait and see where they place in their final positions, but yeah, off spawn it does look like Nemo's been doing somewhat decent. He's managed to get himself a couple eliminations as well, so he's, for the most part, it does look like he's been contested. 60 players remain right now guys, and this is where the race for first place sort of comes into play. You know, everyone wants to get those eliminations so that they can try to catch up to first place, so they can try to do the best they can. But will it be, will we be seeing Rejects and Travis do the same? I mean, if they can get somewhat 80-point win again, which by all means I think it's not going to be physically possible, but if they could potentially push themselves into that top 3. Does look like Rejects and Travis are going to be double keen right here. They go left and right to get a better angle. And we know Travis has that sniper in his back pocket, so if he wants to hit a quick scope, he will. For crying out loud, hopefully we do witness it over here. Rejects taking a shot right now. Luckily, he's had the parasite on his head, else it would have been a serious amount of damage that we would have had on Rejects. But that deflects only onto the parasite and he takes no serious damage to his name. Does look like for the most part Rejects has taken the wall. Travis trying to get into the player's box and he does so indeed, but now he's dealt a lot of damage and that's GG's across the board. I think that was Spooky and Dibs. It was Spooky and Dibs. Spooky and Dibs gets eliminated here at Lazy Lake. Unfortunately, the aggressive gameplay that we have from Rejects and Travis will mean that Spooky and Dibs get eliminated and we won't be seeing them in the dying moments of game number 5. So you can definitely tell the pace has changed dramatically from Rejects and Travis as to how they're playing right now, trying to get all aggressive, etc. That definitely is going to change how people feel about the tournament because, you know, there was some clutch moments for some of these guys to even place better than where they're positioned right now. But Rejects and Travis, with increased W key moments, they will get those eliminations across the board. Does look like Exility finds himself in a tough play. But you know what? He's got that Parasite. That Parasite is his duo for the game number 5. Having seen that Vapors has been eliminated of Spawn already. So, GG's, man. Morg and B-Boy. I've seen Morg, you know, complain there and there. But they had a victory to their name. If they stay consistent, we would have seen Morgs and B-Boy sort of clutching out big time. But consistency slacked quite a bit over there and there, and it does look like Morgs is going to try line up a snipe shot. It doesn't look like that connects across the board, and just quite laggy that we're getting in from Discord right now. So hopefully this fixes. It doesn't look like for the most part it will. So we're just going to have to move over to the next guy, unfortunately, where we had a really good scene coming in from Morg and B-Boy. Does look like Xylo gets eliminated and he's in. And that's a GG's in the books over there. I mean, for Ginger and Zaxis, we can't really spectate them right now. But if anything, they can clutch up and get first place. Goliath, Travis, and Rejects are positioned 10th, but I don't think it's going to be enough to go first place, or even third for that matter, depending on how much eliminations, of course, that they grab themselves in. And Agency, Luca, and DePaul find themselves disengaging as much as they can. I mean, I wouldn't want to be risking that prize money that they can acquire themselves, you know? So, really good decision coming in from Luca and Dekov. Let's actually leave them. Go spectate Neymar and Woke, who are in this position right now.
Having a great attitude will make you feel bulletproof. Feel bulletproof. Legal.
What I like about tier 1s and, you know, pro players in the South African scene is that regardless of what the situation is like or how bad they've played, they never stop playing. They never stop playing. So for Neymar and Woke, you know, they've had a tough tournament to their name. But did they give up? No. Did they stop playing? No. They still very much active, showing their competitive side over here. And that's what I enjoy about these top players in South Africa. The likes and, you know, new players coming into the scene, or, you know, your tier 2, tier 3s. If one game goes south, they're going to quit the tournament and be like, oh, damn, done, I don't want to play. Guys, that mentality won't get you anywhere. It starts with the mental, and then from there you can start working your way in into the positions of winning. I mean, that's exactly that. It does look, for the most part, Neymar's sort of hunting, and he's found himself some prey. The question is, will he go in for the attack? We'll have to wait and see. No, it does look like they do rotate out of that situation. Neymar and Woke happily rotate out of that situation. Let's go over to Tembrat and Zaro, who we've seen in the tournament as well. Oh, very much active gameplay that we are seeing as well from Tembrat and Zaro. 3 eliminations, and we're not even into the dying moments of game number 5. I'm just waiting to see who out of that top 3 remains alive and progresses into the final moments. It's gonna be interesting, guys. So if you guys are here, just know you are in for a treat as we reach the final moments we have on our hands. Zero and Tempera just making the rotations into the next zone, and I'm itching. I'm really itching to see what happens right now. It does look like Travis and, Rejects, they end up dying and getting eliminated, so it's done for them. Let's go over to Bean and Altus to see what's happening on their gameplay. Where they're positioned in the games. Under a stair, being W keyed for the most part. Unfortunately, again, guys, we can't be watching that laggy gameplay. It is sad that, being a prominent organization in South Africa, Elite Pro Series, we aren't able to give you guys premium spectation with the Spectate tool. But hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to do so. Does look like we're going to stay on board with Neymar and them for a bit, guys, as we're going to the very last bits of moments. Oh, Neymar and them find a gift from heaven. It is parasites. How have these parasites not been acquired just yet? I've seen a lot of you guys liking and subbing. That there increases your chances. If you guys haven't liked the stream, if you guys haven't subbed to the stream, then, your chances are just not there. You're not going to be winning, guys. Make sure if you guys want to win your Exitlag code giveaways that you do so. Does look like a bullfight of madness is happening here for Rejects. For Neymar and Rejects as he lays some absolute beams onto his oppositions. He does get a knock. And Neymar showing that consistency in aim. We will get that full elimination. Oh! He's been absolute beamed. What was that? A triple dink? The zone right now is ticking up quite heavily. Vogue now needing to sort of clutch up. He doesn't have that much HP and really nothing to lose if he doesn't even clutch up. But horrific moment we'll see from him. Let's see exactly what Vogue can do as a solo. Quiet moments here as the players, need to stop making those rotations in. It is the end games that we have right here as well, guys, with the players. And it does look like, for the most part, we don't have that much POVs, and it does look like Exility and Vapors. Exility still finding himself in the end games over here, guys. So that's going to be interesting. So Exility as a solo has managed to work his way into the center zone, and that's gonna help his team out with a lot of placement points. And not giving up to the very end, trying to get the best placement as you guys can. Some bragging rights, you can say I placed top 10 in the LITE Winter Duo Cup. The question is, will Exility earn himself enough points to do so? Couple players trying to make their play for height right now, and Exility just watching as the bloodbath of gameplay is in front of him. One plays remain. He does now need to make the rotation into the 50-50 zone. And Exility just really staying still right here. Let's go over back to Neymar and Woke to see what's happening with Woke. Woke alive now, needing to make a full max rotation. And for the most part, it does look like his HP is low. Doesn't look like he's going to make out of this one alive. He's on 7 HP and he does. Finds himself a good 76 pump as well while he's at it. But... oh, and the bullet does connect. Unfortunately, he will find himself getting eliminated over there. And that's the GG's in the books. Guys, it does look like we've come to an end or a halt with the streamers. All the streamers we have in Discord are sort of dying and dead. Except for Exility. Exility is still here. But yeah, no one else is able to stay alive. Lucas seems to be dead. Neymar's dead. Travis is dead. Sobsy Buzzy dead. We had over 15 POVs and they all seem to be dead. Except for Exility. Stay in mind, Exility is still in this one. Hopefully he stays alive. He does have that first moving rotation. And this could be a good display of skill from an underrated player. So let's see exactly what he can do as a solo right now. So Exility, with the advantage of first moving and a parasite on his head, he's able to stay ahead of zone right now. And for the most part, it does look like he's going to get focused somewhat or another, and he's going to lose his parasite. He can still stay alive, however, in this. He's going to pop a medkit to try get as much HP as he can possibly. And in 3 seconds, we're going to see him start making the run for rotation. And a good edit top coming in play for Exility. If I'm not mistaken, there's a low launch opportunity to his left, but it's not going to grab that. Instead, it's going to fall on top. Now almost out of mats as well. Exility trying to find himself a refresh with only 4 builds. Not even 4 builds. Does look like, yeah, no, it's 4 builds to his name right here. He's going to need an elimination of some sort. Maybe drops down into an old build and he misses an opportunity for pump. Turns around to negate from that situation, but he's almost out of HP as it stands. 3 builds still remain. Maybe he's able to find himself an elimination or a refresh anytime soon. Let's see exactly what Exility can do in this dying moment. Should have stuck with that medkit so he can stay in zone just a bit. No time to stay behind, as now his HP depletes. Finds himself an opportunity to get a kill, and he does so indeed. Needs to focus on the rotation. The zone pulls back, it looks like. Oh, and unlucky as he edits into a duo. And unfortunately, guys, that is the game over there. Doesn't look like we have anyone else who is very much alive over here. Yeah, no, all these players are dead and dealt with. Guys, that has been the tournament. We're going to have to wait and see who wins it. who comes out on top. But I think, you know what, a perfect opportunity while we have everyone's attention is to actually bring in LITE on to discuss a few things with you guys, make a few announcements. So let's introduce him before we grab those giveaways from everyone. I'm giving you a call, LITE on, if you're in the stream. It is a bit delayed, but wow. Talk about a tournament, guys. Yo, what's up, Don?
What's up?
I thought it would be a perfect moment now to, lay down a couple words and things and announcements that you have planned, because we actually don't have anyone else to watch here.
Okay, cool. So yeah, stream, how's it? Hope everyone's enjoying it. I know I am at the moment. It's actually quite a nail biter. But yeah, the announcement that I wanted to make is that we're going to have this going on annually. We're going to host a LITE Winter Cup annually, and next one is going to be bigger, much bigger, actually.
Hey.
So yeah, I just hope everyone is going to be prepared for that and is excited for that as well.
Yeah, no, definitely, and I hope by the likes of things, guys, you guys must be spamming W's right now with this announcement. The goal here with the LITE Champion Series is to bring it annually, I guess, then, Don?
Yeah. So basically annually, and then at the end of the stream, actually, there's obviously the raffle. The guys need to be in stream.
Yeah.
But yeah, the raffle, and that's 5 Exitlag codes, and there's one 6-month code as well. So that's 180 days of Exitlag that you don't need to worry about.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, for next year, so annually it's going to be awesome, actually. And as it next year, I'm not giving away the amount as yet, because it actually might be larger than the amount that has been committed as well. So so it might actually be larger next year. So that's why I don't want to give an amount just yet. But yeah, that's going to be exciting.
Well, for the most part, everyone can get excited, because there is still yet to come another LITE Winter Duo Cup, or even trios or solos. We don't know what the format can possibly be laid out this time around next year with Fortnite, seeing that they constantly change. But a huge thank you to Don, LITE Gaming, the entire team behind the tournament, as well as the sponsors, Array and Exitlag, myself, and I'm pretty sure the whole of Fortnite Saturday appreciates your contribution to the growth of Fortnite esports.
Yeah. And as I said, what's cool, guys watching, I hope everyone is enjoying. Hey, everyone is spamming W's in chat now. Sheesh. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, so everyone's enjoying it. Lovely. And yeah, to those who obviously this thing did their best, you know what, it was awesome. And don't give up. I mean, you guys are still good, and don't give up. I mean, that's what it's about. Like, I mean, you're speaking just now about, like guys leaving games because they can't, they know they can't make the points and stuff. That's not the attitude to have. You need to have a positive attitude, a positive mindset. And yeah, this thing, keep up with all the games, and you will get it, for sure.
Definitely. Well, it was fun to hear that announcement over there, Don, and I'm really excited to see what this will mean for the future of Fortnite esports. And again, thank you so much for what you've done over here with the Winter Duo Cup. I'm looking forward to the next one.
No problem, Arrow. And Arrow, just one more thing. Love the casting, awesome energy. And yeah, this thing, guys, just make sure to obviously drop a like and a sub to Arrow's this channels as well. As well as EPS, and and LITE Gaming.
Awesome. Yeah,
LITE on top.
Fantastic stuff over there. Thank you so much, Don. And we're going to be looking now at the winners of the tournament, guys, of the first ever. You heard it, first ever, because this is an annual thing. Let's go jump on board. And oh my. I told you that consistency matters, guys. I told you consistency matters, as Card and Dabs grabbed the first place of the first Winter Duo Cup, 5,000 Rand to the name. In second place is Piano and Lurker with 228 points. Just a swift of 2 points to the name. Ginger and Zaki's coming second, third over there. For Keaton and Storm, a juicy fourth place. And for Light Gaming, Punishers, Light CK and Bojo. What a massive game to their name as well. 50 points to that extent. What a congratulations to these top 5 teams, but a massive shout out to the top 3. Cod and Davs coming in first, Piano and Lurker coming in second, Ginger and Zakis in third. Let's get some GGs in the chat for the winners over here. And now also, guys, for the giveaway that we have for you guys is the Light Winter Duo Cup comes to an end. We have 138 entries, and only 5 of them will be walking away with 30-day Exitlag codes. And on top of that, guys, we also do have the 180-day codes given away. So as you guys can see, we are ready. We have closed the entries right over there. And that is boom. For the first 30-day giveaway, guys, we are going to be giving it to, drum roll, Frost ZA. GG's Frost ZA as you win yourself an amazing 30-day Exitlag code. For the second winner, guys, is going to be Vibes. Vibes walks away, not only has a champion in the, not as in champion as in one, but a champion as a solid man. Vibes gets himself a 30-day Exitlag code. The third winner for that one is Ryder FNBR, and a GG's to him as well for winning himself a 30-day Exitlag code. In fourth place is Hazard ZA with a 4th giveaway to him. And the fifth and last for the 30-day Exitlag code, guys, is gonna be Cynics. So that over there is the 5 winners for the 30-day Exitlag code. But who will be walking away with the 180-day is going to be the question as we draw the last winner, guys, for the 180-day giveaway on the Exitlag days. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the 180-day winner is no other than Muzz, who grabs himself a 6-month win on Exitlag. We'll be in contact with all the winners, guys, to distribute those giveaways for you. But a massive GG's and a huge thank you to Exitlag, Light Gaming, and Soraya for these giveaways. And not only for the giveaways, guys, but for that juicy 9,000 Rand prize pool that we have on our hands of here. It has been a massive one, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it as much as I did, because it was, you know, it's new. It's always new to have different winners. Cod and Davs grab first place, Piano and Lurker second, Ginger and Zaki's. For me personally, and I'll show Zaki's proof. I'll show Zaki's. Hey, look, I spoke about you in my pre-warm-up. I said, you know, champions in duos. It's always been Ginger. Ginger won in the previous duo tournament with Crispy in February, and then we had only the other duo tournament right now, which he's come back for this one, the Light Winter Duo Cup. Ginger has shown up to par with his newfound duo, Zaki's, where they come third place. Massive GG's across the board. And a thank you to each and every one of you guys that stuck by through to the end and left a like, hit that subscribe button. But it's come to an end. And with all good shows, we must say that that's been a wrap. See you guys in the future.